Hi, I'm Dr. Tuepenz.
And I'm Gaplord.
And we are
the
Juice Crew Villans.
I could not.
Good. So,
I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life, and I'm not living it right.
good day, everyone. I'm Gaplord, friend extraordinaire, and today we have some amazing guests with us, the Girlz Podcast. And we have two other featuring guests, and they will all introduce themselves shortly. Please, ladies, from left to right, if we could.
Okay. Usually it go this way, so okay. I'm Chantrell.
Is that how we say it on there?
Yeah, your name, a short introduction of yourself.
It's
Whatever.
throwing her because we always start this way.
Okay. So a short introduction, like what? What you want to know?
Whatever you want to share. Whatever you want to say.
You don't have to be anything specific. It can be your name, who you're like, what do you do, like, what do you, who are you part of, what's your role with the Girlz Podcast, or whatever you want to share. But it's just something short introduction so people can.
We should go first.
Yeah.
Your name, your
Oh my
business.
gosh.
Well, we need to someone that probably can
The
just pop it
coach.
off.
Okay,
Yeah.
Quisha.
Yeah, let's
So,
just go.
So, okay, for the cameras, are we looking here? Or
No,
it don't
just
matter?
listen to
Y'all,
me.
Well, we have-
y'all look at the cameras.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
cameras don't even
You know what I'm
hear.
saying?
We talking,
Okay,
we
cool.
talking, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Sometimes I
That's
start
weird.
introduction.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
don't
that's
be
what we
looking
do. Yeah, that's what we do.
Well, that's
yeah.
what so the editing part. That's why he's looking at the cameras to make little funny edits and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Gotcha. So, you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I'm Quisha. I'm a mother of two boys, and I'm the owner of A Mother's Touch in UA. You can follow me on Instagram, A Mother's Touch in UA, LOC, in between each letter.
Aw. Since we gotta look at the camera, y'all, what's poppin', y'all? I'm Ash. I host around the city, and I have my own YouTube channel called Just Little Ash. So subscribe, tap in with your girl, goddamn.
And I am Malika. I am a entrepreneur, and I work with businesses and brands to help build their businesses with apparel. And my brand is Rags to Riches, and also I'm co-owner of S&M with Chantrell.
Rags to riches.
Hey y'all, I'm Shari, but y'all know me as Ree. I'm a dancer, I model, and I have my own. I'm an entrepreneur too. Unique hair. Oh, finish your hair down.
Hey y'all, I'm Chantrell. I am a mother of two. Well, not two. I'm one.
Including the pet.
Right.
Well, I have a dog, so I guess that's two or whatever. I'm a wife. I am finishing up my master's program. I graduate May 7th. I am almost a nursing home administrator, one test away.
Yes,
And I also have a nonprofit coming real soon. And I co-owned S&M with Malika.
Amazing. And we also have two other special guests. If you guys can introduce yourself.
How y'all doing, everybody? Party next to Miles, or just AKA Miles, owner of Polish Promotions, and your host or co-host more so with R&B Sundays. Appreciate everybody always coming out, and of course the Jam Series coming up next too as well. You can follow me at Party Next to Miles on Instagram, Twitter as well. You can follow Polish Promotions on Instagram and Facebook. I do appreciate everyone. Thank you for having me, Juice Crew Villans, and the Girlz Podcast.
Amazing.
Well, what's going on, everybody? I'm Tay313, neighborhood superhero. I am a black IT nerd, and I'm just here to, have a good conversation, enjoy the time with these good people.
So thank you everyone for coming out. And we picked two topics, and we're going to start with the ladies' topic first. We'll see where that takes us.
Can we start with y'all talking?
No, actually we did. We just
I thought
And what's the second topic? I thought we just had this one.
So let me
No,
go.
it's two topics.
I'll go over the topics with you guys.
We just talked about this, Ree.
Oh, okay.
Shout out for game planning.
So the topics that we have today is good men / women versus bad men and women. And the other topic is, since women have the right to opt out of motherhood, should men have the right to opt out of fatherhood?
We
Spicy.
started
Warm it up a little bit.
Oh, is that the warm-up topic?
Let's tap into it.
Amazing. Okay, so let's go and kick it off. So today's topic... Huh? You said what?
No, I'm listening. I ain't saying anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So,
trying to focus. He got his notes.
yes, I do. I do this all the time. So, since women have the right to opt out of motherhood, should men have the right to opt out of fatherhood? And let me kind of start this conversation with, let me go to my notes, please. Are men and women equal?
You
That's a
answer
question?
that question.
No, I'll speak then. Everybody at the top. Men and women are not equal.
They're not.
I don't say men are greater or women are greater, but we're not equal. We're different people. We're different species. You know, there's
Agreed.
women have super powers in certain areas and men have in other areas. I wouldn't say they're equal. We are humans. We should be respected and you know, and loved and everything like that. But to be equal, no, I don't think we're equal.
And I agree with that. Men and women
Very much
are
so.
not equal, and I feel like there's literally a woman can do literally everything a man can do, but a man can't do everything a woman can do.
Oh, see, I try to be diplomatic, and
We're
That
not
is
going to be
very true.
diplomatic right now.
So
Like,
you-
So how is it that a man can't do what supposedly a woman does? What does that mean?
a man cannot bear child and bring life into this world.
That's a good point. On another I might be
So,
considered
but-
sexist. I might be considered sexist for my point, but I'm gonna go ahead and speak on it.
Go ahead.
No, finish.
No, that
Finish.
was my point.
Is that the only thing that a man can't do that a woman can do? I mean, that a woman can do that a man can't do?
Because
It's different.
we all we're all human, like we said, we all have our own perspectives, we all have our own outlooks on life, we all breathe, sneeze, shit, eat, all of that. We all have testosterone in us, but y'all don't have some men have a little bit of estrogen, but not all men have estrogen.
Well,
Like
it
you're going
depends
into
on
the scientific.
I think we
side
all
of it
have both testosterone and
Yeah.
estrogen, but the levels are lower.
Definitely
Yeah.
different.
Okay.
Definitely
Of
different.
course.
But
But
in it all,
far as the percentage
men
level, yeah.
cannot bear child, and that's the biggest thing.
and women can't produce seed.
Yeah,
At all.
Okay.
I mean, you have an egg, we have a seed. It's like kind of like it's a symbiotic relationship. You know, I mean, y'all do
You to bear a child. You need
carry
you need to see.
child, but yeah,
Well, I was just wanted to say that women can't dunk like LeBron James.
that's
Okay.
a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Maybe evolution may take y'all there,
That's
but
all
as of now,
I'm just saying.
I don't watch basketball.
And we
So
talk.
that goes back to the point of strength.
We speaking
Being a protector.
Okay.
Who's a better
Just
protector,
women.
men or women?
Okay.
not
It
other
depends.
things.
Depends.
who's a better provider, men or women?
But there's this theory,
It
and
depends.
it goes off of you. I'm just kind of like where you're
That's-
saying
I'm
or
okay with
whatever. So it's called general strength theory, and it basically saying can men and women be neutral? And the theory says it can't, because genetically, even if society try to make us neutral, we can't, because a man has an idea that they are to be providers, and a woman has an idea that they have to, you know, like be this person that care for family and stuff like that. And so when you take the theories, it just goes to shows like even if you try to make us neutral, we will never be, because our genetics, we're not wired that way. So
it's good that you said that, because those are valid points, and that's how I base my opinion on men versus women. But you also get those extremists who says women can do everything men can do, but men can't do what women can do. That's when it started becoming an issue, because now there's a battle now. Like, okay, now you're trying to say you can be me plus some, and like you can't do it. Like you can't do everything a man can do. You know, a woman can't do everything a man can do, and vice versa. So that's why I try to be diplomatic in the beginning, but it seemed like some curveballs got thrown out there. So.
Like when it
even
comes
if
to
we want to
raising,
be the same, I don't think that we can be, only because genetically we're not. Like when we handle anger, men handle it different. Stats shows that men handle it with anger and aggression, as to women, they handle it with depression and sadness, and women are more prone to have like eating disorders, or they go to like drug abuse. As to men, they're going to like
Violence
killing, violent, like they're going. So genetically and widely and statistically, we're different.
So I just think that conversation is just crazy, because I feel like how long is that gonna go on? Like, how long are we gonna talk about men and women being equal? It's like, we're different. Let's be different. I think gender roles are not defined anymore. It's like a blurry line because, especially in our culture, given that, you know, Jim Crow and slavery and all these other factors that's made like the men not irrelevant, but what's the word I'm looking for? Wordsmith. I need a good word. To make a man less prevalent, less important, less useful, impactful, whatever word you want to use, right? I think y'all get me. Yeah. The gender roles have been redefined or blurred because women, black women in particular, have been carrying their families in their household. We've been led by a matriarchal society. So a lot of women, I mean, like people I know, my friends, people I love, my mom, my grandmother, some of my peers, they don't look at men as other cultures look at their man. They look at their man as like, oh, he's the backbone or he's the head of the household. And where I see more likely, and I'm not speaking for you guys because I'm just not getting to know y'all, but a lot of women I know tend to say, I don't need a man. What can a man do for me that I can't do for myself? And that's why there's a big issue within the household, within the family. So gender roles definitely need to be redefined, and you know, men need to take on the responsibility that men need to have. Well, we need to discuss what men should do and what women should do.
The roles for each other, especially within the family.
So, with that being said, the motherhood and fatherhood thing. So, women do have so first let me ask, are you like pro-abortion or anti-abortion? If I can get that.
When you say that,
pro-choice,
okay.
Honest with you, I'm kind of 50-50, to totally honest with you.
You said you 50-50?
Why? Because it's some weirdos. Like, women deal with certain situations when it comes to either being raped. How will they raise that child or love on that child the same way versus being in love with someone and producing that child? That's why. And then, you know,
so should we?
It's a case by case situation.
Like you should not be doing it just because you just feel like you have the right. Like that's not a thing. I mean, it is a thing, but it shouldn't be. Yeah. But again, like I do agree.
So being that, let's just remove the RAPE factor. Without that, do you think are you pro-abortion? Because that is even at the end of the day, that is a very small percentage. It happens, but women actually getting pregnant from it's still statistically it's a small percentage. So just remove that factor. Would you be pro-abortion?
Even still, I'm still kind of 50-50 because of the fact that where a person's at in life, and I feel like what I've been told at least, you're never really ready for fatherhood or motherhood. When it just happens, it just happens. But you know that person. Let's just say if you know, we grown here. Y'all was doing what you do as grown folks, but you know that person. That's the only thing they're good for. They wouldn't be a good father or mother figure potentially. Then what? Then that conversation has to happen. Well, what are we doing here? We're gonna co-parent. We're gonna be together. What are we doing?
Well, we really shouldn't be having sex before marriage.
Very true, but it's happening.
But
happening. It happens a lot. There's not much we can do about it.
So say
all of that ties together.
Yeah.
Say if you wanted a child and you already have a child and you had should the man have a right to say so whether that woman aborts his child?
You shouldn't be dating or having sex with someone that you wouldn't or that you mutually don't want or want kids. If that makes sense.
But do that always happen?
I want to.
Right. So
I'm
that's
question
like, so it doesn't always happen that way because one night stands. Some women get pregnant, but if you, take the man's, opinion into consideration, because of course that is the father and stuff like that, but ultimately that is the woman's body. So whatever she decides to do. I feel like that's, if she doesn't feel comfortable doing that, if this man ain't ish and stuff, some women keep the baby because they think, that person is going to be there and stuff like that. So I feel like most women do what they feel like they need to do.
I feel like the conversation should be had at least, though. At least be like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. This is where I'm leaning towards.
So if you say no, you still ultimately,
it's your decision. But at the end of the day, at least don't just say, well, I'm making a decision.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's disrespectful in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's gonna happen anyway.
But that's also the same. Like that.
And
Like,
I
what if he
feel,
says
but
no
at the
and
same
he's
time,
like,
I would feel better with at least a
you get rid of
conversation.
it?
So for the sake of the question, one, I am pro-abortion. I never had an abortion. I don't really plan on it, but there are other factors that he mentioned earlier and stuff like that, or relationship issues that, hey, this might not be a good time for us to have a baby, or for you to have a baby, or either or. So I think I'm pro-choice. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people are gonna frown on that because they say you're taking a life, but
I mean, most people are pro-choice.
a lot of people are not pro-choice too.
I hear more people say they're pro-choice than.
That's been a political debate for decades now.
I don't think some people actually understand what pro-choice is either, though.
So to say I am pro-choice, but when it comes to dating someone or two people dating or hooking up or whatever the case is, and there's a baby made, let's have a talk. I don't think a woman should just go ahead and do it without conversing with the man first. Yeah. I don't think that's morally. I don't think that's right. But at the end of the day, like what she said, the woman's carried the baby, so they ultimately get to make the decision. They have the final word on that. Men don't have the leverage to contest that. Now I think.
Do you think that's fair? Is that fair?
This is so fair. So I look at fair different than most people. I don't. From where you asked me, I'm gonna say it's not fair for a man, but it is fair for a woman because that's their strength. That's the thing that they have over a man. So you can't tell a man, hey, this is not a time that you can be strong or diligent because that's something we're good at. You can't turn it on.
Let me ask you this then: is that a form of abuse? Are they a woman abusing their powers by going and having say, "Well, it's my body. I do what I want to do." A man could be like, "Well, this is my body.
A better
and
woman
I do what I want to do."
I give you Plan D.
And just punch the baby out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if a man did that?
But that's an act of
violence. But I'm just saying, though.
Why are we being violent though?
Pulling the baby out like that ain't violent.
No, she said why, but I get what you going.
I'm just saying. I'm talking about the general act of what we're talking about, and then does it remove the levels of responsibility? Like, should you be going out and just having sex like this and being that reckless? Yeah. And then have a baby and you get pregnant and say, well, you know what? It's not a good time for me to have this baby right now. I'm going to get an abortion. Mm-hmm. Is that responsible?
It's not responsible.
I think that is responsible.
Because sometimes you can't, if you shoot somebody and you got to go to jail, you got to do that time. You don't really get away with that. So.
Depending on what.
But there are consequences to that. Is that what you're trying to get at?
What it is.
There's consequences.
Like if you shoot somebody, depending on what happened.
We're talking about general murder. You shooting people because you mad?
No. Yeah.
But
so that's what I'm saying. Okay, you speeding, you get a ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Tuepenz. I got
you. So it's all over the place. Like,
I'm trying to give y'all different examples. I'm giving examples.
Okay, I get your
I'm talking about responsibility, accountability. Okay. If you speeding, you get a ticket. That's your ticket. If you get pregnant because you out here being reckless and you have a baby, then that's your baby. And you should have to be responsible and take care of it.
But there are other consequences.
Can I
so just that one person take care of it,
right?
Or both parties? Because
that's the next topic.
You out there.
That's right.
Wait. Because why is it reckless only on the woman?
Right.
I didn't say it was reckless on the woman.
But that's how you're angling it.
But it's reckless on both parts. It's reckless on both parts.
In general,
but what I'm saying is having an abortion because you're out here having premarital participation is irresponsible.
It's very irresponsible for a female that's continuously doing it and continuously getting abortions. Right now,
just because that's abuse, it's irresponsible.
That's abusing it.
Just because, okay, we've all made mistakes. I'm not better than nobody. Okay, I done made my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But it don't mean that the first time I made that mistake that it wasn't irresponsible. Yeah. After a certain age, we all know better. Yeah. Let's just be real about it. I think that this abortion stuff, it takes away the level of responsibility. That's why we keep seeing an influx in it. People keep doing it because it's like, well, I could just have an abortion. It's okay.
That's insurance.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it just take away the accountability of the whole situation of sleeping around and stuff like that. It makes it people want to move around more freely and sleep around more frequently because I could just have an abortion.
But you were saying about a bunch of stuff like condoms, like
that don't work.
Condoms break. I mean, I'm just saying the best way to not have a kid
that's a consequence of using a condom.
This is why I say if you don't want to have a kid, don't have sex.
So
Period.
So y'all don't have kids
sex
outside of
is
marriage.
strictly
Are you
for
married?
Yeah, and I learned. This is what I learned from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what I learned. If you don't want to have a kid, don't have sex.
So
And I
that's
knew
Until you're
that.
married.
But being realistically, we know that's going to happen regardless.
It doesn't have
Have
to.
to have. Yeah, that's a choice.
It's
That's
it,
not
it really
like-
is a personal choice. See, because we accept it. We say, like you said, it's going to happen. Does it have to?
It doesn't.
It doesn't, because we been
It goes
part
back
of the
to what
norm.
you said. If you know
and the
better, you
culture.
do better. Situation. That's all.
Yeah, so
I do
then
not necessarily.
Shit, I do better.
It's
But I
just,
get you.
like, because what I gotta say is, I think at a point in time, it's like, when do you continue to do that? And when do you continue to stop? Like, again, like you said, it is irresponsible because, like, say you have sex, you have an abortion, and then it's like, do you do that again, or do you learn from the mistake that you made? But people do abuse that power because they like, okay, I had this abortion. I'm not gonna get pregnant again, and then you go have sex, and then you do end up getting pregnant again. It's like, and then you keep doing it. Or do you have that baby and keep having those kids? And those, you have the people who don't believe in abortion, but they keep having sex, and then they keep having kids with different men, different people, and it's like now people have all these kids that they can't even take care of because they choose to still be out here like just having sex. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just a half and half situation because some people are not good parents. Some people should not have kids.
Yeah, some people, a lot of people don't
Some
get
people
kids
bring
at all.
kids into this world just because they feel like I shouldn't have an abortion, but you can't raise that kid either.
But that's a tough conversation to have because you can say someone can have kids, but like, how can you take that from somebody? Some of the greatest people in the world came from like poor parenthood. Like, you know, some of the most abused and neglected people become some of the greatest people.
No, I'm not saying those people in general. I'm just saying like some people really have kids in bad situations when they know that they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I get that.
And just continue to do it.
My thing is this. So, to mention what you said earlier, Tuepenz, having an abortion doesn't erase consequence, right? There's still consequences of an abortion, right? You can have issues with your uterus, hysterectomies, when you have to get that type of stuff. So those stuff are, or you can just become
and mentally,
and
mentally it's traumatizing.
Mentally, yeah. You know what I mean? So you're not getting away scot free. You know what I'm saying? You still have to deal with some type of effect. I think maybe not everybody, but some
I
people.
think everybody probably deal with. I think that'd be something pretty traumatic for a woman.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I
some-
think that type of stuff.
for some
if
men,
you
it can
do
be
that,
too.
it could be traumatic for a
Yeah,
woman.
it is.
Some men can do
That's
that.
why I say it's important so that the man have a. I used to be like 50-50. I don't care what you do, but now I'm like anti-abortion. But this as I got older.
Why are you anti-abortion?
Because I feel like it's a life, and I feel like you're taking away a life. That baby has no choice. Like they don't get no say so. Like somebody could have aborted me, and I would rather prefer to live. And I feel like men should have a choice whether they want their child to live. If that woman doesn't want that baby, she should just give it over to the man.
How can that man? This is me playing with the devil's advocate. How can that man say anything if he chose to be irresponsible in a way of just taking the sexual content out of it completely by being that R word? How could he have a say so?
That man should be in jail.
He'd be
Like ideally he'd be in prison.
Sad case about it, it's a lot of guys that ain't.
Yeah, that's true. I'm saying ideally he should be in prison. So he should not have a say so because he forcibly took something from a woman that didn't belong to him. But in a normal situation, that man should have a say so. So if a man was to walk out, he's like, I don't want that child. He's like, I don't want to be involved. Then he would be taboo as a deadbeat and all these things. But she can say, I don't want that baby and abort it. But she's not considered a deadbeat mother.
For you though, since you said like you're anti-abortion, so let's say like a situation occurred where, like you said, the guy said he don't want to take care of the kid, but let's say in the beginning, because sometimes it's happened, he like, okay, if we was to get pregnant, we gonna do X, Y, Z, and then when that time surfaced, he's like, no, I'm not doing this. So she should still have that. She should still have that baby in your mind.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like I don't feel like there's no.
So you got an unwritten contract when you first like lay it down. Like that's how I feel. Like shit.
Like
I use condoms. You know, some people don't like. They like to go sushi gang, and I respect it. Sushi boys, you know what I'm saying? Sushi boys out here, but like I respect it. But you know, when I do decide to do that, I use protection because I want to prevent it if I can. If I'm not ready to have a baby or start a family with this person. Now sometimes you look at someone and you have a lust or you just like them or you have a connection. You want to do that. We're adults and we all understand the society we grew up in. So that's a thing. I'm not exempt from that. But when you go unprotected, or even when you're using protection, you know, you're agreeing to like, hey, you know, not agreeing, but you're saying,
it's a risk.
Let's do this, but we know it's a risk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when that conversation had to happen later down the line, it's like, well, we know what we're getting ourselves into. Mm-hmm. You agreed, I agree, we consented to this, and we did this, and now it's like, where are we now? And that's where the conversation comes in. Like, okay, we co-parent, we're gonna be together, or we're gonna have an abortion, and then from there it's just like, hey, well, the woman says, hey, I don't want this baby, and the man says, I do want the baby. Well, I think his idea of like, all right, well, if you don't want the baby, sign him over. Like, I'm as a man, I'll take care of my responsibility and raise the child myself. And if the man said, hey, no, I don't want the baby either, and the woman is saying, I want it, take on the baby. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the type of conversations we should be having.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fallout's going to be after that, but...
Even when, depending on that last comment, even if, like, say, the man wanted the baby and the woman didn't, and there may be different aspects as to why she doesn't want that baby. It could be health reasons, like you can't carry. Some women don't have easy pregnancies. Some people have horrible pregnancies from the start. And it's like, I know that I can't bear this child because of what it's going to do to my body, or I'm not mentally or emotionally in that right space to carry that child. Like, she's still gotta, you know.
That's where communication.
That's different.
That comes where communication comes. You talk about that though.
But
if you choose not to have that conversation and just say it, whose fault is that? That's really your fault.
Right.
But that still go both ways, because like a guy, I would imagine, I don't have any kids yet, but as a guy, I would imagine the guys who walk out on their responsibilities, quote unquote, as a father, as a man, I feel like they have mental instability or something like that. Like I can't be with you and the baby. I can't raise a baby. I can't barely provide for myself. I'm out here scraping, or I'm busy. I'm moving too much. I can't be there to be a father. I can't do this. Let's not do this. Let's have an abortion. So that, I get what you're saying. That goes both ways. Not as much as like on the physical side, but more on the emotional side. But like you said, let's have a conversation. Can you bear this child? Can you carry it?
In a church house I was raised. Hard-headed, I was stuck in my ways. Running the streets, so I got led astray. I never paid tithes, but every day I pray. Pull up at the liquor store. 10 minutes before they close. Kick back at the house. We shooting dice and playing dominoes. The kids with the babysitter. Come through, bring your lady with you. I was born in the 80s, nigga. Sell out ain't a price you could pay me, nigga.
With the movement, their movement. So initially, I think the feminism movement was for white women. It wasn't really for black women. Black women have their own struggles, and I think black women should have kept it secret. But I'm a man, and I can't speak for what black women should do and how they should move about going forward. Kind of with like the social injustice movement. It's like now it's black and brown struggles, but
now even black and brown.
It's people of color. But people of color haven't been dealing with what we've been dealing with for 400 plus. You know what I'm saying? So our shit should be separate. We got black issues we need to work on. We got black households we need to work on. We need economic issues we need to build on and fix. We need we need to fix a bunch of social struggles we have. Don't latch on brown issues and what's popping right now, trans issues or transphobic issues and homosexuality issues. Don't lump us all together as we want.
Right.
No, it's separate issues that we have to fight, and if we can separate and keep it and have our own individual movements, we probably get more progress.
Stick to that goal.
But I think white women, that feminist movement, they put their touch on. They, you know what I'm saying? They use
Karen it.
They put their struggles on somebody else's back.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I knew you was good with that. They put their struggles on black women's backs, and I don't.
But the thing is, black people don't have to go along with this. So it's like, we made a choice. It's like they put out propaganda and we chose to go with it. And now we're dealing with it. But we don't have to do these things. Like, just like you said, they put the trans, like, now everybody's going with that. It's like, you can't even say nothing about it.
That goes back to Quisha said too. Like, she basically speaking on how a woman can give birth. Now you got trans women that feel like they can do them. Like, that's not.
Well, I'm okay with saying that trans is a man, so
I'm okay with saying that too.
So that's
just how I feel about it.
Men can't have babies.
Like, I'm like, that's cool if that's what you want to do, but you're not. But you're not there to bear a child.
And that's what kills me. I don't like to talk about this topic because, like you said, you can't say anything positive or you can't say anything that's not positive. Like as a person, I can shit on you because you're a black man because I can tell you, I can lift you up and I can tear you down, but like that's equal criticism to me. Yeah. But when it comes to that, those people. I don't want to. I feel like I'm using the wrong. What to say? Like, sorry, I apologize. I really apologize. I'm trying to find the words, and that's the point. It's not comfortable to talk about, so we don't know how to talk about it.
We gotta tiptoe around that.
But when it comes to that,
I call them non-normal sexuals.
Nah, that's too much. There's no for sure. But when it comes to that, you can't. If it's not positive, uplifting, you can't speak on it.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing been lately. I don't know. Like I said earlier, I'm a sports person. That Leah Thompson, or maybe the name was Thomas, but the name is Leah now. It's a swimmer.
No, yeah, swimmer.
Oh, yeah.
It's a swimmer.
Big 6'4".
Yeah, like
it's a woman.
What?
It's a trans woman. Which. She's a trans woman, and she's converted from being a man. She's been doing testosterone suppression for the last couple of years. She's been working, and just became like
obviously it didn't work.
She just placed number one in women's swimming.
Yeah, and was ranked 490.
Not fair.
460.
It's not fair. Like that's not fair.
But like, but the thing is, straight men, we're attacked because we speak on that because it's like, oh, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe. Yeah. Because it's like, no, that's not fair. My girl Quisha said earlier, women can have babies and men can't, right? Exactly. So it's like, yeah, y'all, that's a superpower, that's a strength of y'all's, and we have our own. But it's like, I don't feel like women supporting that, and that's like the leading supporters of that movement. It's really,
and it's taken away from women's rights.
It's really like y'all heard yourselves on that.
Y'all saying disrespect?
I think it's because it's at this point we can't do anything about it.
I think y'all like trauma bonded on that.
Trauma bonded. They trying to have babies.
Not only is it also hurting the women's right, it's actually hurting the children too.
Big time.
Social media play a big part in everything. It just makes it people feel like everything is okay.
So do y'all think social media plays a major role in why people feel and think the way they do? Because I think that
some people don't need a voice.
I'm not gonna say people don't need a voice. I believe everybody. And I think they lack to go get outside sources. Because when you go and check, like fact check, you like, okay, so where do you get this information from? And they like, I seen on Facebook.
It's a bunch of opinions of people who got the like-minded opinions, and it comes off as fact. That's why I don't like getting dicks.
Even if it's on Fox, News, CNN, they still lie too. So every source of media is almost lying.
Essentially,
so it's like you really have to go search for it yourself.
A little bit deeper than your own understanding. I think that's something that sometimes people on social media lack. Because they like, well, I seen this and it kept being said, but it's like, okay, do you go off of other websites, .gov, .net? Like, you're not looking on Wikipedia for your information. Because sometimes that's what it is. So I think maybe
if we're going to be totally honest, Wikipedia is not a valuable source.
It's not. That's what I'm saying.
But it's better than like a bunch of people online telling you how they feel. Like, it's like y'all just meet me today and I believe everything you say. I'm gonna vote for his ass for president. Like,
so can I
ask you? I can be a crazy motherfucker on the back end.
You say that you feel like
that's the point that Donald Trump made. Why he said he would go Republican? Because they believe everything. Like they are
sheep.
Yeah, they're sheep. They follow everything. Yeah, that's why he said it. He said it in the '80s, and what happened?
Are you talking about Sleepy Joe?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Donald Trump. When he said if I was to go for president, I would be a Republican.
Yeah, he called it a long time ago.
When you seen that situation happen. You seen what everybody did? He said all the outrageous stuff when it comes to racist, sexual issues, things of that sort, raping women. A lot of people came out of the woodworks that wouldn't have said that without him actually speaking on that. Follow people like sheep. It's the same situation with social media.
Yeah. You stated that you feel like there's nothing we can do about it, and I want to ask, why do you feel like there's nothing we can do about it? Do you feel like speaking up is not doing anything?
I mean, like, we can, but it's, like, so many different things. So, like, people not being for transgenders, these doctors is out here, like, making stuff. Like, y'all can't even have a cure for cancer. Y'all can't have a vaccine or just different stuff like that. But y'all are giving, like y'all reassigning people's like sexual like.
That's crazy.
That is ass backwards.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all are now
business model though.
like in the next few years, men probably can't have babies, like because y'all are like so focused on.
That's a demon.
Like y'all are so focused on like social media things, like she said with social media, like y'all see that people are posting this and that people. It's okay because if he is homosexual or whatever, he doesn't want to be a man anymore. Why is it not okay? Because on social media you see that all these people are changing at their genders. You see plastic surgery is so easy for people to get things done, but only because of social media. Like people are seeing, not just because social media, people are seeing them, but it's promoted so much on social media and people get so much more support with those things because it's like, oh, you are actually showing up for who you want to be and not because people are telling you can't be that person. And so it's a little bit more acceptable because that's what everybody is supporting.
So are y'all too afraid to like speak out loud about it sometimes? I
feel like that's not my place. I feel like it's not my place because at the end of the day, I still believe that I can't do anything about it. And when I say about it, I mean like somebody else's sexual like
preference.
Yeah, like their preference. Because if you do decide that you want to go do a sex change, like me saying no, you're gonna still go do that.
Yeah, it's like for me, I love everybody, literally. So even though they're doing something I have a friend who's super
different.
Yeah, he's super unique. But I love him to death. But even to his face, I'd be like, no, I don't believe in that stuff. Like you shouldn't be doing that. I feel like speaking up is especially if you're speaking out of love. There's nothing wrong with it. Like y'all say, it's not my business, but to me, it is my business because I have kids, and these things are being found in my kids' school now. And it's like this book saying "mommy and me," and it's like, no, my kids ain't growing up with this, and I have a right to raise my kids how I want to. So although it doesn't look like it's affecting us because it is their personal business, but it's being advertised and made like it's the norm. And it's just a small percentage of people.
I find it being an issue that Black history is being taken out. In Oklahoma particularly, I think Texas and a couple other states, they don't want to talk from, I think, kindergarten on through when you're about to graduate high school, 12th grade. That I will never understand, but you're so far pushing. Yeah, they want to take it out completely. But they're so far pushing. But they're so far pushing of having to understand it.
They want everybody to be equal. Like
but it would never be.
And I think that's why it also is important for people to be like, you gotta have them conversations at home. It's just not at school because when they teach us history in school, who they teach us about? Martin Luther King.
That's why I don't want my kids learning about Black history in school. I want them to learn about home.
It's not very fruitful.
It's not.
It doesn't give them what they really need.
But here's the thing: you have them teachers that will say, well, that's great that you want this criteria. I'm going to do this. I'm going to teach this.
I can't wait.
But you always got a choice.
So I can go through
Very true. Because it's even being pushed now that it's okay to explore different sexual endeavors
for kids.
And I feel like that's why it's important for you to talk to your kids
it
about those
is.
things. Because it's like, even though you say like that's not my business and it's not my place to tell somebody what they should and shouldn't be doing, people are still gonna do it. So it's like, even though you don't want your kids to learn or know about that because other people are doing it, they're still going to learn because other people are doing it. So it's like,
you still gotta talk to them.
even though we can say no and we don't agree with, it don't matter how early it is. People, kids are like
y'all said earlier, y'all were introduced to sex at 12 years old. So like,
and like as women, like I'm not gonna say all of us, but majority of us probably were not having sex at 12, 15, like none of that really. And so
there's only a few. It's only a few kids doing that, but in my environment, that was like a normal thing.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. I talked to my daughter about those things, and I didn't say anything bad about them, but she's able to identify it, like, and help her little sister. Like, her little sister grabbed the book from the library, and she's like, "Oh no, Willow, that's inappropriate. You gotta put that back." And I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, there's a lot of rainbows in here."
But are you doing the same thing to, like, if they were to open a book and see a man and a woman together too? Because I still feel like
anything sexual. Anything sexual.
Okay.
Like, kids shouldn't be seeing anything sexual. It should just be a kid's book. But if it's a book, if it's a book just about a husband and a wife raising a family, I'm not going to take that book from her. Because that's the foundation I want my kids to grow up in. And like I said, I have a choice to how I want my kids to be raised. I think that's the right way.
I get it, man. Like my girlfriend's daughter, we was at a grocery store, and she's like, Mr. Miles, he has nails on. Like nails like Quisha has on right now. If you could just do that right. Like that. Like, and she was just like, what's going on? I'm confused. I was just like, I had to really explain when we got back to my girlfriend's apartment to say, okay.
Like, how do you explain
Like, how do you? And that's crazy. I didn't know how to explain it. It took an hour conversation to kind of explain it.
It's a conversation you have to have in your household because you're going to get exposed to it. However much you try to sugarcoat it or cover it up, it's going to be exposed because that's what's normal now. Yeah. And you can't be upset about how someone else lives their life just because you don't see it's acceptable or right.
I just see it as we gotta understand what that is, and that's a response to trauma, especially in the men. People don't see it as that because it's been glamorized and accepted. But as Dr. Umar Johnson educated me years ago, if you, and I always gotta mention Umar because that's where I got it from. I ain't Google it, I ain't find it, but once he shared this information, via internet, I had to do my research. And when you look back at the 1970s, that lifestyle was considered a mental health disorder.
Gender dysphoria.
Then the person who said it wasn't was a person from that community. Person, you know what I'm saying? That's like that's like the Joker, like, nah, he crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Joker, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when you look at that from that perspective, it's like, what are these people going through? If you watch the Chappelle special he had when he said his friend was like, we just want to be heard. These people are people who are going through things mentally and emotionally, and this is how it comes out of them in the physical that we see. Everybody does it different. Some people go gangbang. Some people smoke crack, like we was talking about earlier. Some people drink. Some people do, they drive fast cars, shop, eat, whatever. This is them handling the trauma that they're battling within on the inside, and that's how you explain it to your children, so they don't judge them, so they don't hate them, so they understand them, so they're not treating them like they're lesser than, like I'm above you because you got your nails painted. Like, yeah, I don't agree with that, and we can still talk and we can shake hands, but you're not gonna come around me living that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna bring my stuff around you and try to make you live how I'm gonna live. But going back to what your point, you were saying, like, should we stand up? The way you stand up is by just living your life by example. Being that voice of reason, saying, hey, I don't think you should die for this, but I wouldn't think it's the best thing you should do for yourself long term. Because when you look at the long term outcomes of this lifestyle, what are the positive benefits from it? You can't show me 20 people that say there's 30 years into this stuff and say, yeah, I'm happy, I'm glad I did this. It brought about something better to the world. And when you look deeper into it, because I've done my research on this as well, finding people who come out of that lifestyle and the stories that they share, and I'll say 99.9% of them said, I was traumatized and this is how I handled it. Whether it was through some type of sexual abuse as a child or through whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know people, you know what I'm saying, that's like in my family that's like, they was, socially awkward, and everybody, they tease them and say, oh, you gay. And then they just say, yeah, I'm gay. A lot of people go into it like that. But a lot of people go into it like that. It's like people bullying, oh, you soft, you a punk. Then they, oh, I guess I'm a punk. I just don't got no confidence. It's just the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So
that person has to figure that out.
Just go back also. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's just like that's when people really have to learn themselves, because that person has to figure that out for themselves. Like, what is it and why is it that I'm this way? And like that is true for some people, but for the others, some people are really, I feel like, in my opinion, are just born that way as far as like their sexual preferences. But experience, like I do believe the experience does lead people that way, and so they never really figure out what it is and why they are that way. And so that's why we can't judge them or say we're gonna change things.
I'm not going to judge them, but I'm not going to accept that they were born that way either.
Yeah, you said your question was, are we afraid? What was it?
Are we afraid? Or I'm not afraid, but in general, are we afraid to speak up and address these things? And speaking up, is that like, what's the crime in speaking up?
Okay.
Like,
so that's
I feel like if it's things that somebody out here shooting people, you're like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have opinions about things. I think people are scared to have opinions about things and voice them out loud.
Yeah. Because once you have an opinion, you're a bully.
So that's what I say. Yeah. So being afraid, I'm not gonna say I'm afraid, because I'm not generally afraid of anything, but I am cautious. Like y'all can tell when I was trying to speak on it, I was cautious because as a straight black man, it's like I am almost demonized if I speak on that either way. It's like if I speak to support it, then it's like, oh, this nigga might be DL. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. If I speak against it, And then it's like, nigga, this nigga DL. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a lose-lose situation. Yeah. So it's like, I almost feel like society don't give me an opinion on it. Like, I can't, I don't have a voice on it.
So you have some type of, you have something, there's a bit of you that cares what other people think.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, people might say that I don't care what people think, and they might try to put on this parade or facade on who they are, but I think personally everybody cares about somebody around them.
So,
because you wouldn't get dressed, you wouldn't, you groom yourself, you wouldn't do certain things.
I don't care. I care what my internal family thinks, but outside of my family, I truly don't care what anyone thinks of me. Because I have an example to set for my family, so I do care what they think of me. So I try to hold myself.
But you care about what someone thinks.
Yeah, just them people though. But I'm saying like in general, in public, I truly don't care what the outside world thinks.
So you having an example for yourself? Do you not feel like that can be for others as well, outside of your family? Like how you carry yourself, or how you go about things, or how you think things should be.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's like I said. That's why I say me. They can raise their family how they want to, but I should be able to speak up if I don't think it's the right thing. Like me saying, like that's immoral. Like which moral now is subjective.
Yeah.
But if I see something that I think is wrong, I should be able to speak up just as well as they should be able to speak up. We should let the people decide. Like, well, I think that is wrong, and everybody should be able to speak up whether they disagree or agree.
But what do you get out of that? Like, what do you get out of speaking up for someone else's life and what they do for it?
Well, you just don't randomly go around like, hey, that's wrong. It has to be situational. It has to be like even just this conversation, or even just having to I hang around a bunch of different groups, and sometimes there are people like that over there. So, and if we end up talking about it, I should be able to speak up and say, well, I don't think what you're doing is right, just as well as they should be. So it's not like people just going around seeing somebody like you're wrong.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It's not I'm just blurting it out in the air. It's always in a appropriate conversation.
In a sense, you mind your business, but if it's brought up, you're gonna speak on how you feel.
Like if they're trying to pass a bill or something that promotes that, I should be able to speak up and say, no, that bill is wrong. Like we shouldn't be promoting that. Yeah.
We building motherfuckers too. There's so much shit in those bills.
Whole bunch of bullshit.
Shit you fuck with and shit you don't fuck with. It's like
this ain't it.
So I guess we can. This has been a long session. We can wrap it up and we get everybody's tags and social medias. Y'all can call them out. We can go in this order.
They dropped them earlier, but shit.
They really did. Y'all was supposed to do what y'all did.
We can start with Quisha and then Ashley, Malika, Ree. Yeah, we'll go in this order. So.
Socials.
Yeah, business, social, everything goes.
Okay, so again, I'm Quisha.
I know.
I can be found on Instagram at Mother's Touch Anyway LLC. There's a dot between each letter. My website is amtcosmetics.shop. You can also find me on Facebook at Quisha Anyway.
Yo thing is long. I know it's quiet, y'all, but like if y'all want to hear me talk, go check out Just a Little Ash on YouTube. Goddamn. Also check out the Girlz Podcast on YouTube and make sure you guys subscribe to both. You can find me on Instagram at Too Many Ashleys and Just a Little Ash.
You didn't say you need 2,000 subscribers by.
Oh my God.
May.
Who's 2? Y'all, it's gonna be a tough run, baby.
We got it. Alright, I'm Malika.
Oh, you just go skip.
I thought you
said take.
No, I thought you said her.
Yeah.
I used to take my words. I'm like,
no, go ahead.
But yeah, again, I'm Tay313. You can find me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Tay313_. That's it.
Worst podcast may be coming soon. Maybe
we're working on it.
Maybe.
He loves to talk.
Okay. Alright. And I'm Malika. I am on Instagram, amazing_00. And my Instagram for my business is Rags to Riches. And on Facebook as well, Rags to Riches. And we are located at the Collection 405 at the Outlet Mall.
Once again, Party Next to Miles or just Miles, whichever you feel comfortable with. Party Next to Miles is IG, Miles Chandler Facebook. Stay Polished by Miles is the page, and then Polished Promotions and Marketing, Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, Polished Promotions, and then Party Next to Miles as well is on Twitter. I'm on everything basically, as you can see. I'm easy to find. Then also associate business that I work with, as you can see, with the Polo Spacehead Clothing.
Okay,
Shout out to Rhino and the gang. What's up with y'all? But yeah.
Where can you find it at?
This is Spacehead Clothing. It's right, just _ Spacehead Clothing.
I'm saying they're at the collective too.
We're at the collection 405.
Yeah, collection.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then we also got our website, spaceheadclothing.com.
Hey.
And we do custom orders.
They do it all.
He got a commercial.
They go good.
Pay for that much.
Read.
I thought he had more to say.
Don't blame it on me. I know I'm long-winded.
No, I'm reading, you guys. You can find me on Instagram at Janae Unique. You can follow my business page on Instagram at _unique hair _ Facebook unique hair, and
Once again, I am Sean Trill. You can find me on Instagram at Sean Trilly. And I'm also on Instagram for my business, S&M Exclusive Designs. That's the name on there. And it's also on Facebook as well.
And we're located at the outlet as well.
Yes, Collection 405.
Amazing. I would like to thank you ladies for coming out and you fellas. I appreciate it. It was a really good conversation. It didn't turn out so bad. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all
At
having
first I was
us.
like,
I
don't know.
skeptical about this.
What we was getting into,
No,
but y'all cool.
we
Yeah.
like to touch on like
Yeah.
those touchy conversations, but we're respectful, of course. But I do appreciate y'all even coming out and talking to, because we have some men that they like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, I think it was really great of y'all to do that. So I'll applaud y'all. Space was a little limited, but we made it work.
And thank you for inviting us to y'all's podcast.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate that.
If we could ask a favor, if we could possibly take a picture for social medias.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
That was fun, y'all.
You was a star.
Sandwich with the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I have to pause. I know exactly how this ends, but I have